Classification NDE 5017 Jessica K. NDE 9354. Experience description: I was 5 years old riding my black pony, named Fireball, with my twin sister, dad, mom, and their friend who were watching. My dad wanted to show off our riding skills to his friend. My dad chose me to demonstrate because I was more fearless than my sister. The pen was muddy and not good for riding. I knew this, but didn't care. I started cantering around and I was doing my tricks. I turned the reins to the right and the pony's legs crossed to the left. I felt us going down towards the fence. The next thing I see, I am directly above my body looking down with a 360-degree view. I see the pony's legs straighten out. I saw a tinge of my pink jacket by the wither underneath the pony. I felt no pain and also felt free. There were no emotions or fear. I felt sound in the mind and was hyper-aware that I was still me, even though I felt no attachment to the body under the horse. As I continued to slowly rise, I continued to look down at the scene. I hear my mother scream. I see my parents rushing towards me and my sister was looking scared at the gate. Then I was in pure blackness that was endlessly everywhere. But I was not scared, which was odd because I'm still scared of the dark. I heard someone talking to me but didn't see anyone. I questioned everything. I asked what seemed like a million questions and the answer was given to me completely and entirely in my mind. I knew that every action may seem evil but it worked for the greater good. All was perfect in one way or the other. I asked about religion and the vastness of it all. The only answer I could recall afterwards was the word dogma. This word stood for the concept that the truth was muddled by man's feelings. Although coming from our good intentions, it was inhibiting others from spiritually growing. I felt like I spent a long time in this place asking all kinds of questions to this being that was patient and kind to answer these basic questions. I felt so intelligent and full. Then there was a pinprick of light. All of a sudden, I was in a realm that had the whitest clouds and big marble buildings. There were people scurrying around there. The light was everywhere and everything was light. Light could be seen in the tiniest of detail. It was beautiful. There was a group of people that came to meet me. I know they knew me and were so excited and happy to see me. I didn't know who they were. I continued to ask these beings more questions. It was so overwhelming with love and information, that I had to step away from the group. The next memory I had was being at the bottom of some marble stairs. There were 2 tall beings in white robes. I want to say they were angels. They were beautiful but intimidating and masculine. One angel was blonde with longer, curly hair, and the other had darker hair. Both of them knew me. Yet, I asked who they were. They reminded me and then I remembered that I knew them. They were happy to see me and I could feel giddiness and excitement. They looked up the stairs and said that someone wanted to talk to me. I felt like I floated to the top of the stairs. I met someone that I knew was very important and I believe it was Jesus. I knew I didn't do enough for him in my life. I felt ashamed to be in the presence of this authority figure and had missed the point of why I was in this life. I was also embarrassed that I had to be reminded that he gave me this life and asked me what did I do with it. I felt like he understood me, loved me, and there was no judgment. I was told that I had to go back. I must have refused because my next memory was to show me why I had to return to my body. He said, "Think of your mom and dad if you pass away." I thought it was strange I hadn't thought about them at all since floating away to this place. He showed me this transparent video screen of what my mom and dad and sister's lives would be like if I didn't return. It showed all of their lives instantaneously from start to finish. I was shown that it would be a harder life for each of them, full of sadness. I felt guilt and sadness for them to have to go through that. But, I still was hesitant because I knew that it wouldn't be long at all for my loved ones to be where I was. He said, "This is your life and purpose," while he showed me my future life on the screen. I saw that I would be involved in the church I am in now. I would be married and have 3 boys. I now have them running through the house. I saw each one of their futures. I saw that my life had a ripple effect for the people in my life. I had many choices to choose from for the outcome to be great or not so great. I was disappointed in some ways because I felt with all the knowledge I learned, I was wasted my life. Life is a beautiful gift from God. I realized that I was very materialistic and missing the point of life. He showed me Earth and it looked like a picture of a faraway satellite. While slowly moving, he showed me there will be a dark time on Earth after some time. I felt so compelled to come back just for that time. I wanted to be a light of good and redeem myself to fulfill my purpose. I had that urgency and feeling to go back and make a difference. I just had to. I knew that I would return and it wouldn't be long at all to go and come right back here. It would be like a blink of an eye. As soon as I had the thought, I felt like I was being sucked down a dark vortex tunnel that curved down to earth. On my way down, I realized there were evil beings on either side, towards the bottom of the tunnel. We didn't acknowledge them. I was given the same answers instantaneously of their origin and why they were there. I knew that it was the being with me in the dark before my journey had started. I was put back in my body. I was in the bathtub being held by mother and my sister. My soul felt like it didn't fit, was so confined and cold. The intelligence, love, and peace were gone and replaced with feelings of pain, uncertainty, and fear. The world seemed so gray to me and I felt dumb and alone again. I was crying and had dirt in my mouth. Looking back, there was no pain in my body, which is miraculous. I don't remember anything from the time my mom and dad took me out from under the pony to the bathtub. My parents told me I had no injuries and was sucked into the mud without a single bruise, scratch, or broken bone. God is good. At the time of your experience, was there an associated life-threatening event? Uncertain. Was the experience difficult to express in words? Yes, it's hard to describe the feelings and environment in our limited language. At what time during the experience were you at your highest level of consciousness and alertness? Yes, I was. How did your highest level of consciousness and alertness during the experience compare to your normal everyday consciousness and alertness? More consciousness and alertness than normal. I was above emotion and was an onlooker watching the situations and people like a third party, unbiased, and I understood that there was so much more to it than when we saw. Please compare your vision during the experience to your everyday vision that you had immediately prior to the time of the experience. I could see all around. I felt like an eagle that could pinpoint its prey or onlook forever. Please compare your hearing during the experience to your everyday hearing that you had immediately prior to the time of the experience. I heard without any problem. Did you see or hear any earthly events that were occurring during a time that your consciousness/awareness was apart from your physical/earthly body? Yes, I saw the pony's position with its legs outstretched and my pink jacket peeking out from under the horse. I heard my mother scream and my family run towards the pony. What emotions did you feel during the experience? A number amount. Did you pass into or through a tunnel? Yes, on the way back it looked like a black hole and arched at the top and then down to earth. It reminded me of a tornado of glass. Did you see an unearthly light? Yes, it's so bright and beyond white with colors inside it like a rainbow refraction. Did you seem to encounter a mystical being or presence, or hear an unidentifiable voice? I heard a voice I could not identify. In the void, the voice came from a presence beside me. Did you encounter or become aware of any beings who previously lived on earth who are described by name in religions, for example, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, etc.? Yes, I believe the authority was Jesus, even though his memory of what he looked and sounded like was taken from me. I believe it is because if I kept this memory I wouldn't have chosen my now faith out of free will but out of knowing. Did you encounter or become aware of any deceased, or alive, beings? Uncertain. I believe the group I met when I first arrived could have been deceased, because I sensed I knew them and they knew me. Did you become aware of past events in your life during your experience? Yes, I seen that my life that had just begun and I hadn't completed anything I needed to. Did you seem to enter some other, unearthly world? A clearly mystical or unearthly realm. It was vast and the buildings looked like Greek in architecture. Did time seem to speed up or slow down? Everything seemed to be happening at once, or time stopped or lost all meaning. I felt like I was there for hours or even days. Did you suddenly seem to understand everything? Everything about myself or others? I was given this information in the void. Did you reach a boundary or limiting physical structure? No. Did you come to a border or point of no return? I came to a definite conscious decision to return to life. I knew I had to go bad to fulfill my purpose. Did scenes from the future come to you? Scenes from my personal future. I was shown a dark time on earth which I believe is now. I was shown my future of my husband and kids and where I would live. During your experience, did you encounter any specific information/awareness suggesting that there either is, or is not, continued existence after earthly life, life after death? Yes, during your experience, did you encounter any specific information/awareness that God or a supreme being either does, or does not, exist? Yes, during your experience, did you encounter any specific information/awareness that you either did, or did not, exist prior to this lifetime? Uncertain. During your experience, did you encounter any specific information/awareness that a mystical universal connection or unity/oneness either does, or does not, exist? No. During your experience, did you encounter any specific information/awareness regarding earthly life's meaning or purpose? Yes, during your experience, did you encounter any specific information/awareness regarding earthly life's difficulties, challenges, or hardships? Yes, that we had to go through these experiences to give to the greater good. During your experience, did you encounter any specific information/awareness regarding love? Yes, it's what it is all about. During your experience, did you encounter any other specific information/awareness that you have not shared in other questions that is relevant to living our earthly lives? No. Did you have a sense of knowing, special knowledge or purpose? Yes, what occurred during your experience included content that was both consistent and not consistent with the beliefs you had at the time of your experience. I was 5 and went to Sunday school. My mind was limited in understanding and it took me many years to decompress the experience and realize that what was communicated to me would answer what my conscience has always questioned. How accurately do you remember the experience in comparison to other life events that occurred around the time of the experience? I remember the experience as accurately as other life events that occurred around the time of the experience. Discuss any changes that might have occurred in your life after your experience. I'm more empathetic to people, animals, and earth. My experience directly resulted in moderate changes in my life. Did you have any changes in your values or beliefs after the experience that occurred as a result of the experience? Uncertain. Do you have any psychic, non-ordinary, or other special gifts after your experience that you did not have before the experience? Yes, very empathic. Have you ever shared this experience with others? No. Did you have any knowledge of near-death experience, NDE, prior to your experience? No. What did you believe about the reality of your experience shortly, days to weeks, after it happened? Experience was probably real. I was 5 and went back in that routine, but as I got older I would stop and reflect after a time. What do you believe about the reality of your experience at the current time? Experience was definitely real. Have your relationships changed specifically as a result of your experience? No. Have your religious beliefs/spiritual practices changed specifically as a result of your experience? Yes. At any time in your life, has anything ever reproduced any part of the experience? No. Did the questions asked and information that you provided accurately and comprehensively describe your experience? Yes.